Well, hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everyone is doing well. I want to begin today. Happy Saturday. And Mickey, happy Saturday to you.
And happy Saturday, you two, and good morning.
And it is a good one. The sun was kind of shining out today. Sun was
Yes,
out.
ma'am.
This the best I've felt in 2 weeks. Two
Oh, wow.
in really 2 weeks. So it has been some trying times. Trying time. For everybody who don't know whose voice you are listening to on the other end of that, because you don't see his picture, it is Mickey Jordan. Without Mickey Jordan, none of this would be possible. Mickey Jordan is the tech guy. He's the producer. Mickey is the one who makes sure we make it to where we need to be. Um, Mickey, I was thinking maybe we need some theme music or something.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna start having to get that for you. I got to
I'm
get
like,
that
what am I
for
feeling
you.
like? What would be some appropriate theme music?
I don't know what all these great producers in Flint. We should be able to get something.
We should be able to get, and I agree with you 100%. I guess I need to share this to a couple of venues. And one thing, if you are listening right now, do me a favor, please click like and share and subscribe. Click like, share, and subscribe because we need you. We appreciate you, and we need your help to spread the message. We need your help. So, again, click like, share, and subscribe because we need you. Good morning, Cash Williams. Good morning, Sonia. Good morning, Miss Boss. I like that name. Good morning, Sofa King. Great. Now you know I felt like I've been the sofa queen. Good morning, Deacon Dilmas. Good morning. Good morning, Rashid. So
They
if I
showing
don't
up for you.
listen, and I appreciate that. So I need everybody to click like, share, and subscribe. And I need to do that for myself too. Now, if I lose my voice here throughout, I got some coffee that I'm gonna be drinking and some water because my voice is not back. This is the best it has actually been. Um, which I am appreciative. I don't know if anybody had that little flu or virus or whatever it is, but I think it is COVID-19's ex-wife. I'm convinced that it wants to hang on just to drive you crazy because it took me down. For 9 days, I didn't even come out the house and I did not cut the TV on. I didn't want to hear anybody talk. I did not want to do anything. I wasn't like completely sick like when I had COVID, but it wiped me out. It completely wiped me out. So, Mickey,
Yeah.
it's been a lot going on this week.
Yes, it have. Yes, it have.
And I look at some of the things that are being said, and I just don't know. And what is that? What was that? Is it show and tell? Just the game we play? Is that the one? Or it's got to be a song out there with lies in it. I mean, it's got to be one because there's been so many lies told this week. This week. So I was trying to catch up on some of the things that people sent me. They're like, well, hey, can you take a look at this? Can you take a look at that? I think I finally quit looking like four something this morning. I'm like, I'm going to bed because I was trying to play catch up with stuff. And it's going to take me a minute. But what I do want to say is anything that I put out, I try to make sure I put it out with some type of data, some type of paperwork support to show that I'm not just pulling this out the air. But that is something that I make sure that I do. And to make sure that I am bringing everyone the truth because a lot of these, press conferences and statements and people's social media has been absent of the truth, absent of the truth. There's a lot going on council. And I want to start with that Metro. If you are out there and you have applied at Metro Habitat for Humanity and somehow Metro's website went down, you need to call every day, which is what I've been telling the residents. Call them every day, business day, Monday through Friday, and you need to contact them because I shared their website and it was gone the next morning. So I don't know what's going on. One thing we do have is a communication problem with how information is disseminated into the community. It is not done. I'm gonna say sloppy, for lack of a better word. This program rolled out should have been better. I had a resident who was stating, I'm gonna get into that later, that she wasn't able uh, to get her application. Then when I looked at that application, y'all, last night, you know I'm gonna give some folks the business on Monday. I already sent some emails, but I'm gonna give some folks the business. They just lied to us about that. I'm looking at that application and some of them requirements. I'm like, didn't they just sit there at that podium and tell us a whole different thing? That's why I like to have stuff from this administration in writing. So if you need home repair, those monies were already given to Habitat for Humanity, Metro Development, and then G Card received some money. Residents need to call them, and residents have been going there. They've said they've had applications that they're telling that Metro is telling residents to call Habitat. Habitat is saying that they already have a wait list. They're not taking applications. Y'all still need to call. Y'all need to call. You need to call, you need to go. And then what you need to do is email your council person. They work for y'all. Email your council person, because I can't handle all the ones of my own. So everybody got a council person. Email your council person. If you have an only person that doesn't do emails, Councilman Mays, you probably need to give him a call. He likes for people to call him. Give him a call or leave a message for him at the counseling office at 810-766-7418. 766-7418. Because they saying the communications I'm getting back, and I do have a copy. Someone sent me a copy of that application. And, they had been trying to push like, oh, it's going to be great, and it's not, y'all. It is like what many people thought. That 5 million was sent is put out there, and there does need to be more. And I want to make sure it's clear. I did put, when we were over at the county, for additional 5 million. Ms. Claire McClinton asked for 16 million. We don't know how much it would take to help everybody. And this is a problem because we're having to go through everything to work backwards now. The committee that was selected, we have nothing to show how they approved anything. So we're starting from scratch. We're having to vet that entire process. And some of the process showed how bad it was in the last meeting that we had on, was it Wednesday, Mickey? Wednesday.
Yeah, it was Wednesday.
Where we had residents in the audience calling one of the people who was supposed to receive ARPA funds and asking that person was United Way their grantor or their fiduciary, I'm sorry. And what that person was saying and what the administration was saying was two different things. So at that point, and we were still in that emergency meeting, I'm like, it's time to go. Because why are we asking residents to do the job of the administration? They don't get paid to do that. And the information, they said, who do you write the check to? Does it go to United Way or does it go to the entity that asks for ARPA funds? And they had two different answers. And the administration didn't have the same answers, the person requesting the money. And y'all, listen, that's a problem. That's a big problem. That at that point, I was like, And on top of that, we're going to get into that later. We had the two people who called the meeting. One of the people who called that special meeting left the meeting. And then the other person decided to make a post about those who left. We were still in the meeting, that she turned into yet another dumpster fire, a huge dumpster fire. But let's get back on track. Y'all need to call Metro and Habitat every day if you need those home repairs, because you need to get an answer from them, and email your council person. Email your council person because they have a job to do. That's their job. So, Mickey, we're going to talk about, and I know you have the first video that's going to be prompted to come up, and that one is going to be the video with me and Councilman Pfeiffer. And this is how this came about. One, we can only do two people at a time, according to the Open Meetings Act. So I asked Councilman Pfeiffer would he do it with me so that we can bring the facts. Him and I generally have a like-minded thinking that we are generally like on the same page, and I feel we work well together. And I'm gonna speak for myself. And so I asked him what he do. We didn't go over everything. I said, he said, hey, what do you want to go over? Of course, what are the things that are people talking about? ARPA funds, the allocation of them, and that priority trash can that is being shoved down everyone's throat at this point. And let me just say this, Priority is not the only trash company in Michigan. There's Waste Management, there's Republic, there's Onterra, um, there's more, waste companies that are here. Oh, Green for Life. So people keep trying to say, oh, we just have to take Priority. Priority does not pick up every municipality. There are other trash companies here. So one of the things is that, what we have in council, we talk about it, but what we keep having as a city council is having to basically debunk what the mayor is saying. It should not be that way. The mayor keeps running to the press to demonize the city council. And he's doing it with the help of a few council people too. But shame on them. You have the legislative branch and you have the executive branch. Some of them council don't understand which branch or who they work for. You work for the residents. So you should be giving the residents the true and factual information. When they out here, we have council people who don't work. Some of y'all you can't work with. Some of you don't have to like them, but y'all not, some of them not even, you can work with them. I'm going to do my best. I can only speak for Tonya Burns. I'm going to work with you to do the job. I do not have to like you to work with you. Mm-hmm. I do not have to like you to work with you because my concern is the betterment of the city of Flint and its entirety, period. Because some of the stuff some of these council people do is so far extreme, it's just ridiculous. Some of those relationships will never be mended. They just won't. And it's unfortunate, but that's where we're at. So the mayor goes to the press, which we can predict what he does. He goes to the press because we tell a actual factual. We get to the facts. One, priority waste. There's only 3 things you can do. The CFO said you can only do 2. 1, reduce services. 2 would be to have a trash assessment fee attached to your taxes. These aren't my words. These are the CFO words. He said this in a long meeting. The 3rd one would be, according to the charter, would be to send it out to bid. That's the choice number 3. The CFO did not state choice number 3. And according to the charter, I don't have that up, which page it is. I think it's page 76, section 8D. Section 8D, which tells you how we put it out for the bid process. We had emergency takeover by the state. We had it more than once. And what happened? Flint was poisoned. What happened? They sold off the garbage trucks. They dismantled the waste and trash department. Emergency management did away with all of this. It's gone. Bye-bye. Never to be returned. And Flint was poisoned. When we talk about deciding to vote on a contract knowing we don't have the money is not there. There is not enough money to pay for this. So do we knowingly vote for a contract that knowing we don't have the money to pay for it? That would kind of be recklessly irresponsible. That's kind of like saying I got a car payment. I want a new BMW. I can make the first 2 years payment, but it's a 60-month contract, but I don't have the money to pay for the rest. But I'm going to ride good for them first 2 years because I can afford that. I budgeted for that. But them other few years, y'all might have to come repo it. You may have to come get it because I don't have the money. So what happens with the municipality? Well, it's like the state coming in, they repo it. They take it over. They take it back. Last time we talked about when they were here, it took a long time to come out of receivership. And that was done under Mayor Dr. Karen Weaver, that we were able to come out from under receivership underneath her. And by the way, Mayor Neely got a $15,000 raise, is what the board want to give him. He's working so hard that they put him up for him a $15,000 raise. I think 4 out of 6 people approved to give him a raise. So when we look at, where is our money going? Priority is not the only trash company. And according to that charter, it should go out to bid. They talk about the grant. Oh, there's the grant. Okay, the grant is great. and it's for trash cans. And they selling this, it's totally free. It's not going to cost you. This is how it was being sold. It's not true. It is going to cost residents, because what it's going to cost, we have to take $2 million from the revenue loss fund, $2 million to put into to pay for our trash waste fund, just to balance it for the next 2 years. After that, the 5-year contract that they want, no idea how we're going to pay for it. And it will run at a minimum of $1 million per year. So we don't have any idea how we're going to pay for that $5 million. So that was one of the things. But Mickey, I want to say this shout out to Councilman Pfeiffer for doing that press conference. One thing he's quite a bit taller than me, so I looked really short standing next to him. But I appreciate, him showing, let's do this. Is about the business now, because we are really faced with a tough decision. Do we actually vote for this contract, knowing we don't have the money, or do we put it out to bid? So, Mickey, let's go to the 4-minute section, please.
Being here. What I want to speak about today is the trash contract, and try to clear up some misinformation that my colleagues and the administration is putting out. While the $4.3 million grant for the bins pays for the bins, the associated cost with the trash contract is going to put a serious financial burden on the city. And what do I mean by that? So currently we intake about $6.7 million into the rubbish fund through assessments. Well, if we approve this trash contract extension, we will be running $1 million per year deficit. So the administration has put together a plan that we will allocate $2 million of ARPA to backfill that rubbish fund for 2 years. This current fiscal year and the next current fiscal year. Going forward beyond that is where we have serious financial implications. So there's 2 options. We have to, I should say 3 options. We have to cut services. We have to increase tax, the assessment fee, or we have to cut services. And increasing tax and increasing the rubbish fund, the amount that we need to, we would have to go from the current assessment of $202 to my estimation $240 per person per year. Just 2 years ago, we were at $160. So in the course of 4 years, we will have to increase that rubbish fund by roughly 50%. And given that many residents are losing their homes, can't pay taxes, raising taxes, in my opinion, is not a good idea. The other option that the administration is putting forward is take $1 million out of the general fund to backfill the rubbish fund. Well, these are the numbers and these are not my numbers, these are the administration's numbers. In 2025, when we would need to backfill the rubbish fund from the general fund, we are already running a negative $6.5 million deficit in that account. So the administration's plan to what they put forward is to make that negative $7.5 million. And that is not a good financial situation. So we would have to we can't cut pension because we have to pay pension by law. So we have to either cut fire, police, or any other general services to make up that deficit. That is not something that I'm going to approve. We have a crime problem. We already have police that are overworked and don't necessarily respond to calls in a timely manner. So cutting those services is not good. So we have to look at another option. So what's our other options? Currently, we are under contract until the end of next year, currently, with the current priority list. And we have 2 additional years that we can do a 3% increase on the current rate. My suggestion is we keep status quo and we execute 1 additional year if needed until we can organize and put it back out to bid. That is the only way that we can manage this deficit and to Ms. Burns' point, not go back into a state-controlled emergency management. We have to look at all things necessary to keep the power and the control of the people. And adding to the deficit is not, it's not going to get my vote. So,
okay, Mickey.
and there's a lot of
Okay, and then he goes on to say there's a lot of misinformation. Guaranteed, Councilman Pfeiffer is not this administration's best friend right about now. And you really have to look at how our council is being split. If your council person is telling you this is a great deal, they are lying to you. Lying. They're just lying. They're pushing something. They're kicking the can down. They're kicking a trash truck down the road. It's not just a can. They're kicking a trash truck down the road. And to everyone that has come in too, let me say thank you and good morning. Click like, share, and subscribe. Click like, share, and subscribe. They are kicking this trash truck down the road. We can't afford it. Oh, but it's free. Not one of the numbers. It's not free. The CFO told us a couple of weeks ago it's going to cost. We can't afford to pay for it. And so how do we pay for it? 2 ways. He said 2, the CFO, Philip Moore. I said 3. First way, reduce services. Second part would be to have a trash assessment fee. Third part, put it out to bid. Priority can still bid if we put it out to bid. It's nothing that says they can't bid. Hey, put out your best bid. Priority, Ontario, Republic, Waste Management, and whomever else. I'm off this off the top of my head. Green for Life. Let them put out the bid. So how did we end up with priority? Do people like priority? A lot of people do. Some people don't. That's just the way the trash is. Does priority pick up everything? No, they ain't pick up. They missed Swayze Street, which is in my ward, for over 3 weeks. Zimmerman Street, Gulfside Street. So every trash company gonna have some missed pickups. It just happens. Some of them may not find out or know about them because some of them don't answer their phone. Their residents still calling me. So you're gonna have, they're gonna be mistakes made. How do we not build on our deficit and be responsible? We're paying more. They were $9 million more than the lowest responsible bidder. They were $9 million more than the lowest bidder. They were supposed to be the most responsible, so Mayor Neely picked them. And look, good morning, Meat Freak Barbecue. Oh, now that's the name, y'all. So good morning. And so if you're $9 million more, we're gonna take $2 million from our ARPA funds. We could use that to home repair. And then we got to figure out another $5 million. So you got 9 plus 2 is 11 plus 5 is 16 million. So we are 16 million to keep priority. Priority need to be knocking on your front door asking, can you hand me your garbage out the kitchen at them rates? We shouldn't have to take nothing to the curb. Nothing. There's big money in trash. So why are they continuing to push this down our throat? So how I like to do is kill things in council. I will vote to send it to from committee to council to kill it in council. because they'll keep bringing it back and bringing it back. It was killed in committee, and guess what? It still came back in council. So that's just how I do. And so when we look at why do I vote, and I can only speak for myself, to bring something from committee to council, because this is why this trash contract is still here. Why? It wasn't killed in council. Nothing counts until it is voted on in council, Monday's meeting or a special meeting. It does not count until it is voted on in a special meeting or council. It's not killed in committee. It's not. So be careful, who you listening to and how it goes. Just like we keep getting stuff come back. People say, oh, the opioid thing came back. It sure did. But let me tell you how slick they got, y'all. They are for the Huntington Bank. They took it off of the fund for the opioid and put it on the police fund. So when you, the one where they take stuff in, they put it's underneath the police department. Still, I mean, our police working a ton of hours. You want to get a building, pay $9,000 a month for a drive-through. Tell me how the police department and out of their fund should be paying for a drive-through to make your water bill. I mean, I'm not those two different departments, y'all. Why should the police fund? They're gonna say, oh, well, we're gonna have a mini station. You got mini stations already around here. You can't staff. Matter of fact, you can't staff the main police station. What we need a mini station for? They got cruisers that go out. Our cops don't walk the beat no more. They don't. We got many stations. There's one over on Dort Highway. There's one over on ML King and Bishop. I've got one there's one at the Kettering. You can't staff the main police station, but you want to say Huntington is going to be a mini station? Stop the nonsense. Oh, in a water payment center. Some of the stuff they come up with, I don't understand. And because we don't have leadership with a plan to say, you know what? How do we bring everybody together and get council on the same page? That was my purpose of when I talk with me and Councilman Pfeiffer will talk. I talk with most of the council people and deal with them. I may not like you personally, but I'm going to work for the betterment of the entire city. That I'm going to do. But this trash contract, it stinks. It stinks. And it is being shoved down our throats. So if anybody, you have that, take the time, go back, listen to the news conference that we called, because it's got some good information. And so when they're saying call your council person, they're not showing up. Mayor Neal needs to stop this. He is the biggest deceiver, trickery person he is. And he's good at it. He's good at turning them tables on people. Very good at it. But you know what? That's the purpose of making sure if he want to play the media game, we're going to make sure we put the truth. I'm going to make sure we put the truth out there. The truth will be put out there. So Mickey, I want you to put up the next one. So I get this post, I do not have Councilwoman Lewis blocked. I do. So I did at a point when her and her mother were inboxing and putting up crazy stuff. I'm too old for this. So she puts up on her post. Now she's the vice president of the city council. We don't have a president. So in absence of us having a president since July, she is what our leadership is. And so she put quorum broken again. Shout out to the 1st, 8th, and 6th ward. Quorum broken again. Now, she knows her meeting was a dumpster fire. But let me tell you this, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, or don't fall for the garbage truck in the tailpipe. Don't fall for it, y'all. So Mickey, put up this schedule, the one with the meeting, because quorum is broke again. Shout out to the 1st, 8th, and 6th. Let it be known, she called that meeting the one where it's got like 2 years worth of work that needs to be done on it. You know which one I'm talking about, Mick? Your mic is not on, sir.
My bad. Hold on. I'm looking for it right now. I see one that says organization number 1, council president.
No, I need the one where it's got the notice for the meeting, please.
Oh, I'll find that.
Yeah, that is the one that's got the.
Oh, I got it.
So we have our meetings scheduled for a year ahead of time. Our meetings, according to the charter, we are to meet twice a month for committee meetings, and we are to convene and meet at 5 o'clock. That's per the Flint City Charter. They are just making up rules as they go. They winging it. They flying by the seat of their pants. And so the two people on the bottom of this is Liddell Lewis and Eva Worthy. They called the meeting. We already had our regular meeting scheduled at 5 o'clock p.m., which had been scheduled for a year and was to start per the Flint City Charter at 5 o'clock. So they put in a meeting, a special meeting at 4:45. Now, this is their signature down at the bottom. So special meeting, public notice, special city council meeting. Special order, discuss the state of Michigan. Now I'm gonna get into this one a whole other later, y'all. With the state of Michigan Department of Treasury proposal to administer income tax collection for the city of Flint with representative Treasury Department. They sent the deputy treasurer here. So this is Liddell and Eva, and they did this meeting. Y'all, let me tell you, when they talk about sending the treasury on y'all, they on the folks, people, you done already poisoned Flint. Now you're sicking the state on them again. I'm hot. Listen, I'm so ticked at that part. What does that mean? That means they can come and garnish. They can put liens on your stuff. That means if you already having the problem, now they're going to sick the state on you. This is, y'all call a special meeting for this? Flint is still broken. People still complaining about water. Service lines have not been repaired. And the state going to now come in and say, you know what? We gonna take your property. We're going to put liens on it. And then they have them come to our council meeting like it's okay. This is Liddell and Eva. And we know that they got this through Mayor Neely, but we know we're going to make them pay. We're going to do that. We had 190 people in the city of Flint lost their homes. 190 because they couldn't pay. They thought they were going to be able to get them back. Some of them over at the county. They didn't. The investors were very shrewd investors. They came in and got that bid for that. Was a 1.2 million. So now you got two council people sick in the treasury on the residents. Sick in the treasury on them. We're going to make sure that they pay. Ain't never helped nobody. They not, and there has been help. But they out here got the treasury. Number one thing at their meeting that they scheduled for 4:45 p.m. So that's one of the things. There is no time limit on this, okay? So we're supposed to finish. Now our meeting for committee starts at 5 o'clock. So we're going, in 15 minutes, we're going to have the special order by the Department of Treasury so he can tell us we getting ready to be a collection agency for y'all. Collect your taxes. It's going to be a pilot program. And I have checked how it's working out in Detroit. And we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. And so the next thing, because the special order don't have a time limit. Number two, they want to consider the following resolutions. Let's count these resolutions. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 resolutions. Each resolution, we get a minimum of 2 rounds of 5 minutes per council person. So each resolution, each council person gets 10 minutes. You don't have to be a whiz. The special order in itself, which means we would go over 5 o'clock. So Liddell Lewis and Eva Worthing set the city council up for failure, complete and total epic failure. There was no time on the special order. Guess what time they called their special meeting to order? 5 o'clock. It was supposed to be 4:45. Liddell Lewis, the vice president of Flint City Council, who talks about time, wasted residents' time. She wasted residents' time because she had a responsibility to call that meeting to order at 4:45. If she did not have enough council people at that time, she's supposed to call that meeting to order 4:45. Madam Chair, do a roll call. However many people she got there, she got. If she don't have enough, it's adjourned for lack of a quorum. Boom, 5 o'clock. You wait for 5 o'clock. to have the regular meeting so we could get into the regular committee meeting. She set it up for failure. She knew what she was doing. It was dirty, rotten, stinking politics. No, we couldn't get into the meeting. This is all on Liddell Lewis. She wrong, and people need to let her know she wrong. And then gonna sit up and lie. Well, council people are wasting time. You waste time, Liddell Lewis and Eva Worthing. And Eva Worthing called this meeting and left. She didn't stay for her own meeting. You got a special order, no time limit. You got consider 10 resolutions. We all get 10 minutes for each resolution. We ain't got enough time. How are we gonna get all that done in 15 minutes for 5 o'clock? It's an impossibility. Impossibility. So when they talk about, when Mayor nearly gets on there and says, oh, well, council didn't finish, because you got your people out there, and Liddell Lewis should not have put that. If she don't know how to do time management, shame on her. You're the vice president of the city council. Technically speaking for the president, or you are in an acting role as the president. This meeting should have never been placed 15 minutes before a regular scheduled meeting. And when everybody, gets 10 rounds, and some of them 10 rounds 10 minutes, them 10 minutes can turn into an hour and a half or more on the resolution. And depending on if we amend it, it can go longer. If we amend it, we get more rounds to speak. Because a lot of this stuff, guess what, y'all? It's just now coming to council. Just now coming. This stuff should have went to committee. She is saying it's okay, bypass committee. It's not okay. So when they say council meetings not getting done, no, you got 10 items on just this special meeting with a special order to complete in 15 minutes. And y'all need to be telling these people, call them out on that garbage. When they say council don't get anything done, stop lying, Mayor Neely. You are a liar. You got your bricks. Bursting's getting done. We've completed the water treatment center. We have completed, we did Ashley Capital for the $3.5 million. I did vote for that. My partner to go over that was Dennis Pfeiffer. You got the $72 million for the tax abatement. I did not vote for that. We got the $16 million that went to the demolition to the land bank where they're tearing down. I voted for that. We have gotten hazard pay for the police, which is ARPA. I voted for that. We got bonus pay to hire police. I voted for that. We are getting things done. He is just lying. When you put an entire meeting on, which Liddell Lewis and Eva Worthing never came to, not one special meeting, not one special ARPA meeting where they could have talked and we could have had all day. They didn't come. No show. But you want to apply 15 minutes for residents to have a meeting right before a 5 o'clock meeting. You don't care about the residents when you're doing this. The first thing they say, and then they don't come, and then they do this. But, they need to stop that. This was the business. This stuff should have went to committee first. It should have went to committee and then been sent to council. So they need to stop with the nonsense. And Mayor Neely needs to stop with it. They're not finishing their agendas. You set them up fair. They run down there to him. He run up to them, however they doing. And then they come up with this lie to make the council look bad. How are you on the council making the council look bad when you a part of the council? Liddell Lewis is looking foolish. Her and Eva, foolish. You helping the mayor to make the council look bad. I've never seen nothing like that. And she is supposed to be in the leadership role. That's why I called the meeting, because I'm tired of them playing game and running game. Let's get the facts out there. I don't care about the business and that press conference that they get. Oh, she doesn't like me. And he doesn't like me. And he called me this. And I'm going to spell this. Girl, stop. You should don't put no camera in no grown man face no more. How about that? Do not put no camera in no grown man's face, because don't nobody like it. If you don't want to be called names or be offended, don't put your camera and don't get in people's face. Stay out of people's personal space. What was their favorite word? Decorum. Where is their decorum? She'd be up in the meetings the whole time doing this recording. Who does that? That's lack of decorum. You're impeding on my personal space. Why are you recording every single meeting? Because I take pictures back. I mean, something is wrong. So when you talk about if you want a finely run, smooth meeting, the chair, which is Liddell Lewis, should be saying, Eva, Councilwoman Worthy, could you please, put your phone down so we can run our meeting? Our attention should be on the agenda and to getting these resolutions. Right now, you recording is causing a disruption. Could you please put your camera away? Now, she's a teacher. What if all her students just pulled out and decided to start recording? And she's talking about, it's for my safety. Ain't nobody trying to get at you. Not one single person. Nobody. What's that song? Nobody. Ain't nobody trying to get at her. We got too much stuff to take care of. Two people who got the worst attendance, why stuff ain't getting done. Liddell Lewis and Eva Worthy. They got the worst attendance. Every special meeting, Councilman Murphy showed up. Councilman Murphy was at the budget hearings when they didn't show up. Some of the budget hearings, it was just me, I think me, Councilman Murphy, and Judy was there. Now, the meetings weren't long enough, enough for us to even get anyone but three of us during that time. Budget hearings were terrible. We did not get through every single department. Judy was over budget hearings. They were terribly scheduled. We didn't get to hear all departments, and she was okay, but she was adjourning some of her meetings. You got to put in the work. Because just like they want 15 minutes for us to go over giving away all this money, let's give this group $100,000. Yeah, but y'all calling this group, this person on the phone, and they saying the fiduciary is not the fiduciary. And if y'all sending the money to the wrong person, that you don't have that online. Just messy, sloppy, messy. You got $100,000 out here just gonna float on 50,000. That wasn't approved. We're gonna give them 50. Okay, well, where you get 50 from? Because as we're vetting this, they're saying 25,000. So the meeting was set up as a failure. The two people who called it, they knew better than that. Eva Worthing left the meeting. She left her meeting she called. Her signature's on the bottom of that. And she left her own meeting. Now Liddell goes and put up shout out. No, you put the whole truth up. Right now, you a liar. You need to put up that the first person to leave that meeting was Eva Worthing. She was the first person to leave. Second person to leave, Councilwoman Winfrey Carter, did not feel well. Third person to leave was probably about at a tie. I think Dennis and Mays, we were all leaving at the same time. Mays had like 15 million warnings because, he breathed hard, he getting a warning. Every question he asked is improper, even if he asked it to the attorney at this point. Through you, Madam Chair, to the attorney, can you tell me what is the process? That's an improper point of information or request for information. That's your warning, sir. He can't ask a question because he's going to get a warning underneath this. So that makes our meetings go long. How do you handle Councilman Mays? Give him his 5 minutes. Everybody get 5 minutes. Don't interrupt him. Give him his 5 minutes and let it go. Why would you stop him with 11 seconds to go? 59 seconds to go, 9 seconds to go. Give him his 5 minutes. Leave him alone. Give him his 5 minutes. So by the time they decide that's an improper point of information. That's your warning. Guess what happened? We go down. I appeal the ruling of the chair. And what does that mean? I asked for a second. Okay, you get a second. Then we go into debate again. Give him his 5 minutes. I'm going to blame that on Liddell Lewis because every single time he asks a question, every question is not a good question. Everybody know he's going to ask a million questions. We all get the same 2 rounds of 5 minutes. It's not science. It's not new. Let him speak his 5 minutes and be done. Don't interrupt him. He'll be waiting for him to interrupt him because then he know what? He know he got you. He know he got you. When she want to just make a point, that's improper. And also need to watch when they're saying, is he germane? Then it gets into more dialogue. You see where they're catching things up. Let him talk. Let him talk about Tito, Michael, LaToya, Janet. I am germane because you see the pattern. Let him get his 5 minutes and move on. But everything he say, every question he asks, he gonna get a warning or it's improper. And that's just it's not a fact. What they say, a clock is at least right twice a day. A clock is. So, Mickey, I just want to close with that part, that agenda. There was no way we were going to finish that. We never made it into committee meeting because Liddell Lewis and Eva Worthing put a meeting on there with a special order with no time limit and then with 10 additional items. It was not possible to have that meeting to be complete. And they'll be the first ones to say, oh, well, the time, we don't finish. And they left. Liddell is going against her own colleagues to spew a negative narrative with the mayor. She's going against her own colleagues to spew a negative narrative against her colleagues. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And I'm going to call her out. So they want to keep having these little lying, little press conferences, but we'll have to tell it like it is, truth one too. Because I'm not letting they lie to keep getting legs and running off with this nonsense. And people, y'all need to share this and talk about it. Because when these meetings going long, that meeting was long because Liddell Lewis even worthy. We were there to do the business. This had no business on here 15 minutes. No meeting gonna be in 15 minutes. She was late. She was late calling the meeting to order that she scheduled. She was late calling her meeting to order, and then Eva left the meeting she called. So let's go on to I'm going to get into the
Okay.
well, they done got me high.
I
know, because they just said it. They set us up for stuff, and then it was just like a slew of negative press conferences that the mayor and them had agreed to. Let's make the council look bad. Let's make the council look bad. Council is doing their job, people. We ask that y'all be patient. Council is vetting. Not only council, we had Deacon Dumas out there calling Mother Jones. He up there helping the administration do their job. Why is Deacon Dumas helping the administration do their job? I mean, he calling to make sure, who is your fiduciary? Who did this go to? You know, why is he helping them? I mean, at that point, I was so discouraged. I'm like, it's time for me to go. We are not going, or we're still in this meeting. And I didn't feel well, and it was a mess. We had not even made it into committee. But I want to go to the one where it says the organization chart. If you go to this one, Mickey, I don't know if my light is.
Hold on, let me see which one you're talking about. What'd you put up for me?
It's got organization number 1, council president presiding at meetings. And it's got rules 3.1, rule 4.3, and I got it underlined in red.
You got it. Hold up. You said organizational chart. I gotta find that.
No, it's let me see. I'll tell it what it's gonna be. It's gonna be right below where it says the 4.3 million grant for trash.
Okay, I got you. See,
Okay.
you think
So I don't want y'all to think I'm not just pulling stuff out my head or whatever. I want you to show that the council rules tell us how things should be done. They making up stuff as they go. So rule 4.3, because we never made it to finance committee. Finance committee, business conducted consists of all matters relating to city finances, spending, revenue, contracts, fees, budgets. Finance committee shall meet at 5:00 p.m. on Wednesdays a week before regular council meetings. 5:00 p.m. Now, Liddell is the acting interim president, but she's the vice president. We don't have one now. And Judy is our finance chair. Judy had a responsibility to call this meeting to order at 5:00. She should have been telling Liddell, because they both get into I don't have time. She should have told, hey, I need to start my meeting at 5:00. This meeting needs to be adjourned. We put a motion to have that meeting adjourned. We didn't get enough votes so we could go into the finance meeting. It tells you, rule 4.3, not my rule. It's the council rule. It's a rule. 5:00, start that meeting. They set a meeting at 4:45 with a special order with no time limit. You know what a no time limit special order is like? With that council, give me a break. And then with 10 additional resolutions or items to discuss. States right there, 5:00. So when they talk about wasting time, they need to stop wasting time. Liddell Lewis and Eva Worthing were wasting time. Judy should have called that meeting to order according to rule 4.3. Her finance meeting, she should have been voting to have the other meeting to be adjourn so we can get into finance committee, since it's all about time for them. You got to watch what they're doing, and we have to respect. People have to leave. Everybody can't stay, and some of them have children. And they'll say, well, I have children, I have a family. Okay, then don't do no meeting that's going to take technically you. If you miss every single special ARPA meeting we had, and then you want to come and say, well, I got kids, now we got to get this done in 15 minutes, when you didn't have a year, you didn't decide not to come to any of the meetings. Don't come here with that. Don't expect us to give you what you want in 15 minutes. You got AC Dumas vetting our resolutions because of the administration going back and forth. Was it with United Way or not? I ain't never seen nothing so sloppy and messy in my life. Not ever. And the tune of $100,000. We got the residents helping the administration. That was crazy. So I also want to go to, because I want to shore up a couple things. Mickey, go to the one where it says page 76, purchase with that trash contract. And it's going to be in the red, and it's right above the 4.3 million grant for trash.
I got you. Hold on 1 second. You said right above the 4.3. We right here. I got you.
Yeah. Okay. So per page 76 of the Flint City Charter, section 8-301, purchase and supplies, which is the procurement of contracts. And so the procurement of contracts, purchase and supplies. So section D, the city, and this is pertaining to the trash contracts. How do we put any, how contracts go out to bid? And the priority waste one is turned into a mess. And I want people to know, remember now, how do we end up with priority? Mike Brown stated that he was instructed by the mayor to shred the contract during the last budget, during the last, not budget, I apologize, during the last trash waste bid, to grab it off of the desk of the then CFO Shelby Freyer and to shred it by the mayor. He said that the mayor was very angry and hostile, and he was concerned that for his job, and that he felt he worked in a hostile work environment. Mike Brown quit the city March 17th of this year. We have not had a DPW officially since March 17th of this year. Mike Brown was instructed to shred the last contract. So it was put back out for bid. And that's when we had trash hearings. So section D, the city shall by ordinance establish procedures to protect interests of the city and to assure fairness in procuring property and services. The ordinance shall require competitive bidding for purchase and contracts, but there may be cases clearly defined in the ordinance in which competitive bidding is not required. The ordinance shall define lowest responsible bidder. Here's the thing. We haven't put this back out. We're giving priority. They want us to give priority a 5-year no bid contract. 5-year no bid. Normally trash contracts, y'all, are 2 to 3 years. You can get some extensions. They want us to give them a 5-year no bid. They can still bid. They can if we put it out for bid. It's not saying that we can't, that they can't. And this is per the Flint City Charter, page 76. People say, I want reliable trash service. Well, everybody do, but if we can't afford to pay any of them, we're going to end up with none. Will we end up in receivership? We don't have a way to pay for this. What we have asked them, the city council, numerous times, Councilman Pfeiffer has asked them, and I have asked them, we have asked them for a debt elimination plan. How are we going to pay for the $5 million? This administration has been asked, how are you going to pay for the $5 million? Where's the debt elimination plan? At least 4, 5, 6 months. It's been a long time. It's been months. We haven't gotten a plan yet. There is no debt elimination plan. Council has asked them. Councilman Pfeiffer has asked them. Mays has asked, I have asked, we have asked, how are we going to pay for it? This administration has not given us one reason or one way that they're going to pay. When I voted to send it from committee to council, I was giving them the opportunity, said, we'll give you the opportunity by that Monday, can you show us how we're going to pay for it? Because if we can figure out how to pay for it, then yes, then it will go to council to pass it. Give them the opportunity. We've given them months and weeks and days, and they've never given us how they're going to pay for it. So the administration has not given us a debt elimination plan at all. So can you put what's in between that? The $4.3 million grant trash for carts. And that one's going to be the one that's in between. Yep. Okay. So $4.3 million grant for trash waste carts. Nice big trash cans, 96 gallons. Some people are saying that I take it to my residents. I have got 6 very active associations. That will include other meetings that I'm in. And they meet all the time, which is great. So I talk with the residents. I stop, I talk. I feel like all I ever do is be in a meeting. And which is okay because I enjoy the feedback to get a grasp on how residents feel. So $4.3 million of grant for trash. It does not say that we have to use this grant with priority. Nothing in that grant letter states we have to use for priority. It does expire November the 30th. This administration wants to take $2 million from the ARPA fund balance, from the ARPA funds to balance the waste trash fund for the next 2 years. They want to take $2 million from ARPA funds to balance the waste trash fund only for the next 2 years. Priority told us that we get premium service. So we got their top of the line service. So we're paying for a premium service now. Now remember, they were $9 million more from the lowest bidder. $9 million more from the lowest bidder at the last trash waste bid acceptance. Priority is asking for a 5-year extension, which will cause a $5 million deficit. The city is asked, how will the deficit be paid? The CFO has indicated that there are only 2 options. 1, add a trash assessment fee, or reduce services that Priority provides in a reduction of services. Here's the thing. We are not building houses. We're building apartments. Apartments is not a stop on the trash. It's not a residential home. So we lost 190 homes. Those people couldn't pay for their taxes. They lost their homes. And we're saying, let's add another fee onto these homes. People get a sense of feeling, being buried. Now that you got this administration, they brought the state treasury down here to get on folks and how to collect money from them. Which he stated that he's going, they'll garnish people's accounts and they'll put liens. And I'm going to get into a whole conversation with what they, with what they do. Because I know someone who has worked for the state treasury, and they flagged. I mean, they were calling me, just, Tonya, this is terrible. You don't want this to happen. Do you know what that department does? This is how this is going to go. How dare they do that? Rick Snyder gets off for poisoning Flint. No one has got settlement from the water fund. That's $600 million, which should have been a couple billion. People didn't die. Nobody held responsible. Now they're going to sue. They're going to garnish people's checking accounts, banking accounts, they vehicle. They're going to take their stuff. They're going to garnish them, their checks. They're going to put liens on their homes. And guess what? Service line still ain't all fixed. Still ain't fixed. So if y'all think that they ain't trying to put y'all out, oh yeah, they not y'all, us. And they are. So I want people to be careful, when you listening to some of these people. Fact number 1, that meeting, number 1, could not go on because they called the meeting 15 minutes with a special order with no time limit and then 10 items. Shame on them. Number 2, the waste trash contract. You got 3 options. 1, reduction in service. 2, a trash assessment fee. 3, put it out to bid. Priority is not the only waste to trash company in the state of Michigan. And when they first started, they didn't have enough trucks. And if they tell you they did, they lied. because I saw them at Dom's. I was out to breakfast with someone, and they had like 4 booths of priority. And they had on them garbage trucks, they were all different color. Some of them said, rent me. I'm like, you can rent a garbage truck? And y'all know me. I went over and asked them, and I was talking to them, and they were working hard. And I appreciate what they've done for, people say, oh, I have problem with Republic. I never had problem with Republic before. I didn't. Some people did. And so we switched to priority. But we're paying $9 million more. We're paying additional $2 million of the ARPA funds. And then we got to figure out how we're going to pay another $5 million. That's $16 million that we're looking to keep priority. And they didn't, I'm telling you, they didn't have them trucks at first. Them trucks was green, red, yellow. And some of them you can rent garbage trucks, which I didn't know you could do that. They didn't have enough trucks here when they started. It took about 6 months to get their routes down, which is normal in the process, figuring out how the routes. They said they have 22 trucks here. People say, why don't they buy trucks, Flint buy trucks? Well, those trucks now, they are stating an estimate about 450,000. You multiply that times 22. Do we have the staff and how many people, to drive those trucks, and then the fringe benefits? So emergency management, which they inviting to come back in, they took the trash trucks, they sold them all. Emergency management sold them all. And now we're going into a deal with a debacle with trash and garbage that could send us back into emergency management that had us sell off the trucks to begin with. We cannot consciously vote knowing we don't have the money for this. We don't know who the lowest bidders are. Why? It wasn't put out to bid. And y'all better watch on Monday and see who's voting for this, because how they're moving, we need to be careful. And I'm looking at some of these resolutions coming up and who name is on them and in between. And I'm like, and we are vetting. So I'm asking the residents, the public, be patient with us as we go through these, because the people who trying to push them through didn't show up for one meeting when we had with the public. Not one meeting did they show up for. 4 people showed up: Quincy Murphy, Councilman Mays, Councilwoman Jerry Winfrey Carter, and myself. They didn't show up, but they want to do all this ARPA business in 15 minutes. That's not even possible. So, Mickey, is there any questions? And I hate to talk trash literally today. This is the closest I done kept to my agenda, I think, ever. So, was there any questions that were in the comment? Like I said,
you got 1,000 of them.
Well, let's start rolling through them. Can you throw them up on the screen?
I sure will.
I want to thank everybody who's watching, who's tuning in, who's taking the time today. But please click, like, share, and subscribe, because we're not going to give you the kind of sort of news. This is the facts, and if you got questions about, I don't want us to go back into state receivership. And we know that they sold off our garbage trucks. Do we want to go back in with the same garbage with garbage trucks? No. Okay, somebody said, do you think cell phones should be banned in council meetings? Let me tell you this. Open Meeting Acts violate us from, it is a violation that we cannot have meetings with each other. We cannot communicate with each other in an Open Meetings Act. A lot of people use their cell phones to look up things. And I carry my iPad, but some of the cell phones, how they're using them, it's incorrect. Some of them do communicate. I call Councilman Pfeiffer Eagle Eye because he has been able to see on some people's cell phones who they were talking to and called it out. He can see. Eagle Eye can see. I'm like, you got some good eyes. He can see. So according to the Open Meetings Act, we are not supposed to have a meeting inside of a meeting. You should not be videotaping your other colleagues either with your cell phone. It shouldn't be being done. And it's happening. It happens all the time, at our city council meeting, and it's to a point to where it's very disruptive and it's a problem. So some people use them to look up. We have laptops. I stay on my laptop, and we now have plugs. We didn't have plugs before. So we now have plugs to stay connected. Okay, so next one.
My bad. Right
No,
there.
no, no, you good. Ava News, Tonya Burns, Arthur with Jennifer Carter, and Trevor Hill. Have you guys noticed that your mayor hides behind a friendly audience? In other words, he never speaks in a forum where he may have a field of questions from critics that may challenge him. In fact, I noticed at a meeting he had two councilwomen there and kept saying, "Watch the votes." Go back and look at that video. He says, "I'll take a few questions." But this is his favorite thing, y'all. Watch how they vote. I'm quite sure this morning I was probably called again for the straight 2 years of insurrectionist and an obstructionist by the mayor. He showed this used to be his ward. He goes to every meeting that I'm at. He's there. I assume he's going to be there. And it's, I deal with him. He has always said, since I've been elected at every meeting, watch the votes. And he puts the hands out there. Watch how they vote. He didn't just start this. Matter of fact, before I was elected, he was at meetings literally in front of me. I had Chia's little girl hugging my waist, and we were hugging. He was telling people, don't vote for her. Don't vote for Tonya Burns. I told you, don't vote for her. And I was like, look, I will get back with you. Now, they had already had my sign in their yard. And he tells them, do not vote for me. He tells them every meeting, watch how they vote. My vote is my vote, and it will always be my vote, Ms. Jewel Wilson. I am not influenced by absolutely anybody. What I'm going to do is fight for my ward. My ward is very diverse. I don't have no new, my boundaries are really new. It was already mixed, and people try to say, oh, because she has white people in her ward. My ward was already white. Glendale Hills and Mott Park was already in my ward. My ward goes to Miller Road. It has nothing to do with color, but it has everything to do with it's how I service the people. I go to people's homes. I mean, I knock doors still. I still knock doors. So when we talk about my ward changing, it didn't change a lot as far as the demographic. It didn't change a whole lot. My ward was never like Councilman May's ward, which is 90-some% Black, or the second ward, which is 90-some% Black, or Councilman Murphy's ward. My ward has always been diverse. And Mayor Neely always goes to every single meeting and says, watch how they vote. Pay attention. Pay attention. Like people not that smart. Pay attention to what he is saying. My vote is my vote. I support it and I explain how I vote. I always explain how I vote. And being in, an elected official, you're going to face criticism. 100% of the people are not going to be satisfied with you. So when people say somebody got to me, nobody got to me. He's going to be at the next meeting that I have saying, watch the vote. I can't get spoofed. And he knows that. Some of the meetings, maybe one, Mayor Neely afterwards at my Glendale Hills meeting. And he was just talking crazy. And then he did ask, like, Tonya, I need to speak with you outside. I said, when I'm done, I'll be out there. I'm not going to be summoned. I don't work for him. I work for the residents. Now, will you have to some point meet? I have to meet with the mayor. I have met with him when I was finance chair. It didn't go bad, but it didn't go well. I've worked with him. He knows pretty much what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. I'm pretty predictable. I mean, I have enough means to let everybody know what I'm going to do because I take their feedback. I do what my residents want me to do. They're the ones who elected me. And that's what I do. And if it's within reason, when he gives misinformation, I correct it. I correct it to give them the truth. I keep it on my website. I go to all my meetings, and I have meetings. So I make sure that I put good information out there. But he does. He doesn't want to be questioned by people. He will never set himself up for failure. He won't do that. I remember him telling me one time, he said, he called me in the morning because, I work for him. And he said, Ty, you're going to learn something from me. And he was angry and I was tired. He was like, I am never wrong. I'm never wrong. I said, well, you know what? You're going to learn something from me. I'm not going to take responsibility for something that you did that's wrong. I'm not going to take responsibility for something you did. That's crazy. So how he surrounds himself with people, listen, I got fired every day because to me it was integrity that was important every day. Wouldn't change that. I did what I felt was right. I took a lot of heat for some things. I took some heat even from friends who were saying, or people I thought were friends who was like, who said, hey, you shouldn't be around me because he's going to fire you for that. I'm like, I'm here working to do what I feel is right. If I get fired for doing what's right, working at a health center, then, he came out there that day. Tonya, I need to talk to you. Tonya, you think, Tonya? I'm like, here this man go. I'm doing my job beyond my job. Let me remind you. So Mayor Neely can't spoof me. Is he wrong 100% of the time? No, he's not. He's not. And that's just being fair. He's not wrong 100% of the time. Councilman Mays isn't wrong 100% of the time that Liddell wants him to be. But how some other people characterize Councilman Mays being wrong, you got to listen to what he says, because there's a lot of wisdom in what he says. And, Councilman Mays is going to always let you know he's the smartest person in the room. That's just going to happen. He's going to challenge you. He's going to do, that's just how he do his politics, and he's a very savvy person, very savvy. And so when we look at, is Liddell Lewis wrong all the time? I have said she does Cyrus Park. She's done a good job with Cyrus Park. Her Halloween program is great that she does. Who else? There may be controversial. Oh, Councilman Murphy. Councilman Murphy, he can mow some grass. He has always cared about Dewey. I used to live down the street from Dewey. He's actually friends with my cousin David. And so, people want to try to act like we don't all get along. I know Councilman Murphy has got a passion for Dewey Park, St. John's. So when I look at how, our community, one of and I want to talk about one of the greatest things that's happening, is happening in Councilwoman Jerry Winfrey Carter's ward. She's got those homes that are, Carriage Town's got some homes being built. She has some great new projects coming up. The Merriam House is going to be into housing. Actually, I think 4 buildings on that street are going to be rehabbed and redid. So she's got some great things going on in her ward. So is everybody 100% wrong? No. But when they're trying to spew a negative narrative, like the one that they're trying to spew about the council meetings, nothing's getting done, Mayor Neely, stop that nonsense. We're getting stuff done. Stuff is getting done. When you have your people put an agenda that takes for forever on 15 minutes before a regular scheduled meeting, that should have never been put on. And we should have better leadership who's leading the council to let Mayor Neely know that's not what you're going to do. You will not set this city council up for failure, because we are doing our job. I hate to say it, stand our ground. We will work with this administration to get what needs to be done, but we're going to work with the council first. No, you cannot be loyal to the mayor. The loyalty belongs with the council and to the people. They're loyal to the wrong people, Okay, you had someone else's, another one up. I'm going to go through these a little quicker. Okay, Dr. Padroni, hey, Tom. Neely in his presser said, we shouldn't believe council about priority deficit when the information came from his CFO. You're right. Listen, and there's a video above it. Now I'll put that video back up. There is a presser. The CFO just kind of, put his hands in his khakis with his navy blazer on, and was like, yes, only 2 things you can do. He said only 2 things. He gave the numbers. Those are not council numbers. Those are the city of Flint, the CFO numbers. Those are the numbers. Silver Bullet 6, Ms. Burns, can a court issue an injunction on any other court order to cancel live deals 501c3 for funds due to conflict of interest? They should have disclosed it. When it comes up to vote, it's going to be up to council to vote it up or vote it down. That is what they're going to do, to vote it up or vote it down. Cynthia Morgan said, what was your job? What was my job as far as what? I don't, I do counsel. I still do consulting for alarm business and security. I write and I design fire systems. So those are things that I still do. I don't have a lot of time anymore. People say counsel is a part-time job. It's not. I'd be up to 3, 4 o'clock in the morning trying to finish and get stuff done. And to Cynthia Morgan, Jerry, I was the first female Black owner of an ADT dealership and franchise in the U.S. Ran my office out of Michigan and Illinois and Detroit area. Did it for almost a little over 25 years full time. Council takes up a majority of my time. when people call and say, hey, I have a question, I don't turn them away. A lot of times they'll call first things. I've tried calling my council person. I can't reach them. I get those calls every single day. The most amount of people I've talked to in one day since I've been on council pertaining to council questions and issues was 39 people. 39 people I talked to. And some of them I talked to like maybe twice, not maybe for long times. Now I may have to call them back to get some information. 39 people. So does it take up a lot of time? Yes. 7 days a week. I don't have the time. I think a lot of people call too because when I worked at City Hall, and I worked in economic development with the mayor, and he knew what I did before I knew Mayor Neely way before then in State Rep Cynthia Neely. And so, I mean, I'm a very detailed person, and we just don't have enough time. I mean, the issue, so I know how to work and, get things done. And so I get a lot of calls, and a lot of them calls are not from my ward, not from my ward at all. I took probably, I'd have to look at my phone how many calls I took, which were in second ward yesterday, because the ward boundaries changed and a lot of residents, don't, they didn't switch over, and which I understand how, your council person is now Liddell Lewis, but I didn't vote for her. I called her and I had water and sewage in my basement. She didn't answer her phone. There are residents who will not call her. And Councilman Liddell said, well, you need to give them people my number. I'm not your secretary, girl. I don't do that. No. What you need to do is when they call you, you need to answer the phone. That's how that goes. If they calling me, it's because they've tried to contact you and you're not answering. It's not my job to be the secretary, go between and find a way so they can communicate with you. No. Answer your phone like I did. It ain't real hard. Ring, ring, ring. Hello. Ring, ring, ring. Hello. Answer your phone. That ain't that hard. And you see this, what if they want you to vote for the garbage? What if they want you to vote for the garbage contract? I don't know what they want, but I look at that garbage contract and it stinks. I don't know who the they would be, but I'm really at this point that what needs to be done is for it to be put out to bid. And I'm looking at, why are they pushing this contract? We cannot afford it. It's not like it's such a great one. And we say, hey, we got the money, we rolling. When Mayor Neely started in office, he had a $24 million surplus. He had a $24 million surplus. Now we're going to be looking towards a deficit. Becky Brown, I think Cynthia Morgan was asking, what was your job at City Hall? Listen, about 15 million jobs when I was at City Hall. Y'all don't understand. I had 2 offices at City Hall at the time. I worked in economic development, and then I was liaison to the mayor. I understood that my job was a 24/7 job, and I treated it as such with respect to his job. The thing with Mayor Neely is, what I feel, in my opinion, he doesn't like bad news. And so he doesn't, you have to deal with it. If you tell him what he needs to hear and what he wants to hear, he doesn't want to hear what he wants to hear. And that to me is a problem. How do you fix it? I don't know. I mean, when I met with him before, it was like he was giving me a campaign speech, and Robert Whittakin was in the room, and it got a little heated. And I'm like, you ain't gonna talk to me crazy. And we can work this out and do this. But I mean, you don't have to, everybody go in there like it's a big thing. I'm at the point in my life, I did a whole lot of things. So it's not too much that I'm going to do that I have not done. I've traveled. I've been numerous places. I've done things that some people may think would be extravagant. I've done things. I've lived. I want to do something good for our community. And I look at some of the stuff that he's doing. He's dividing this council, and they're allowing it. They're actually saying the same thing. We didn't finish another meeting. We broke quorum. Why? Because that's their tactic. That was their game plan. Liddell puts up a post, thanks to first, sixth, and eighth. They knew they set that up for failure in that meeting. And then what does he do? Run to the press. And oh yeah, I called the press, y'all. He did that one. I called the press and let them know, you need to be fair to the council, because you're not getting the truth with that. What do you think about the Neely conversation? I'm just going to say this. I want to hear the full tape uninterrupted with commentary. Thank you, Mike Kilbreth, but I want the whole little pocket of it. When he says, yeah, you still got that $100 bill folded neatly in your wallet. Yeah, we got to get you back on the list for the cards, and we got to get you for the fund. my next fundraiser, get you on the fundraiser list. I want to hear the whole commentary. Now they stated they turned it over to the FBI, but look, they didn't took the little mayor's phone in New York. He in some serious trouble now. Serious trouble. And so I want to hear the whole conversation. But they stated they gave it to the FBI. So if they gave it to the FBI, I wish Mike Kilbreath would, give us commentary before it, and then let it play, and then give commentary afterwards. But play the meeting in its whole without being broke up, so we can hear it, because that's what I want to hear. These little teasers don't really work for me. I want to hear the whole thing, because that conversation, they got a little bit comfortable. I mean, I was kind of like, oh, now is this a pay to play? You got to pay into my campaign to get to play with the city of Flint and get a contract. And that's what it was looking like. Is it that, and that's what people were alluding to. Is it a pay to play? I want to hear it in its entirety, without the commentary. Anything else, Mickey?
That was basically it. I was trying to find another one where is it? Oh, Philip Lee. Here it go, right here, Philip Lee.
Who is appropriate for chairing rules and who is not? I know. I just want to know if the rest of the council know who is appropriate for clarifying rules. Technically, in what it should be the city attorney if it's a legal question, but you can also ask the clerk, because the clerk should know. When I would chair, because Ms. Brown had been there, so a lot of things, she was a very formal person. So the formality part, she really knew. And so I would generally go, to Ms. Brown, because you can lean next to her. But it depends on what the type of question is. Generally, it's Attorney Kim, and it's some of the rules. I don't know if I don't agree with some of his interpretations of Robert rules and some of the rules. And some of our council rules, I think in December per the charter, we can go over them. Some of those rules contradict each other, and they do need to be changed. Come December, whoever is selected for president of city council we need to make sure that those rules are looked at, changed, and dealt, because they don't work, some of them, and they contradict each other. I do want to say, before we close, Mick, I want to put up, because I'm going to debunk this other one. I sent you the video. Flint business owner voices frustrations with city council. You see that video?
Oh, let me find it real quick.
And it's going to be the third up from the bottom. Because here's the deception, everybody. And when you have a mayor dividing the city, then to say it's the city council, that's falling for the okie doke. Residents are much smarter than that. He's trying to make people fall for the okie doke. And so when I saw this, you got it?
I'm trying to find it. Hold on one second. Oh, crap. I'm trying to find it right.
And while he's talking, I do want to give a shout out. My park did get passed for to have the handicap accessible. It is the number one park that is used in the city of Flint with families and residents. There is soccer league that goes there for children. There is the
I got it now.
Outdoor hockey. There's going to be ice skating and ice hockey this winter. There's a bicycle garden there for kids to skateboard and ride their bicycles on. There's playground equipment that's there. So there are some great things that are going on. And that they did receive $50,000. So I am very proud that is finally done. Now what council has got to do is, that $5 million that was applied, there needs to be more that we need to apply. We have got to do the work in 15 minutes to have those who are in leadership at that time, who lead those committees and lead that special meeting. They should have been ashamed of themselves. Okay, Mickey Gillis.
Okay, I'm finna play it.
Council members failed to approve a plan to spend the American Rescue Plan Act funds. Tonight, disappointment building among local business owners who say the inaction could hurt their bottom line. Trey Harris spoke with one of those business owners tonight and has more. Trey?
Yes. I've covered city council meetings in Flint for the past few weeks, and each has devolved into infighting and personal battles. Tonight, I talked with a business owner who says the council's inability to get things done is hurting his bottom line.
We now need to be able to have council complete and do their jobs.
Another call to action from Flint Mayor Sheldon Neely. He says the effects of city council's inaction are being felt around the city. He'd like it if they could just get through a scheduled meeting and vote.
Business owners in our downtown and throughout our city is waiting on resolutions to be completed. Homeowners are waiting for repair programs and service programs inside the city.
Dan Wright has been watching council meetings closely as of late. As food and beverage manager of the downtown Hilton Garden Inn, he has a stake in what the city council is doing or not doing. He's waiting for members to take up a resolution that would end the ban on Sunday morning liquor sales. It first came up in October, but not only has it yet to pass, it didn't even appear on the agenda during last night's special meeting.
What we want to do is make sure just that we get on that agenda, that we're heard by the council, so they know that it is something people are looking for, and it directly affects the hotel business with especially weddings, wedding room blocks for Saturdays even.
A change in state law over 10 years ago allows early Sunday liquor sales by permit only. Flint was one of the few communities to opt out of this law, completely stopping liquor sales on Sunday morning. Wright says the city is stuck in the past.
I don't think, the city is where it was 15 years ago, where they're, worried about people waking up at 7 in the morning and heading to the liquor store. It's really just costing the businesses downtown money, I think.
He says the Hilton has been paying for a permit for 3 years, and if city council members can put their differences aside, it could mean a new experience for people to enjoy in downtown Flint.
Heading into the holiday season, I would love to have Sunday brunches starting, end of November through December and January, because anything after December is pretty slow in the restaurant world. So,
to note, in Genesee County, Flint and Mount Morris are the only two cities to choose not to have Sunday morning liquor sales. Reporting in studio, Trey Harris, WNEM TV5.
Okay, so he got the press believing that's on us. Now, they did a special meeting, 4:45 was scheduled for. Committee meeting it was on. 5 o'clock we never got to. Judy should have made sure her committee meeting started at 5 o'clock. This just came up. Committee meeting was Wednesday. It just came up. But you see how he is spun this and is spinning this on council. We don't have nobody to represent us. We just don't. He didn't spun this little story like it's council fault. It goes, the proper step is go through committee. Judy didn't start her committee meeting at 5 o'clock. Liddell and Eva called a meeting at 4:45 p.m. Now, should they have, how do I feel about this? My sister owns a bartending school, so a lot of the only female owned one, Drinks of Essence. Let me send a shout out to her. Proud of her. She just won some awards. So I know what these companies and businesses are going through. But if Judy didn't start her meeting at 5 o'clock, do we want to go through another, year of having the people who chairing? And they really judged Councilman Mays very hard. They really had a lot to say. Do we need to change who's chairing these meetings? Because they're chairing their meetings. They're in control of them. So if we didn't get to this, that's not on the council. That's on Councilwoman Priestley, because she should have started her meeting at 5 o'clock. It was brought to her attention a few times by Councilwoman Winfrey Carter. She spoke with it, and then she went over to speak with the clerk. But see how he spun this? This man ain't been waiting. No, if he just put it in for October, and we just now in November, it ain't been there for no year. They need to stop the nonsense. Stop gaslighting this community. Mayor Neely gaslights this community. Would I support this? I think it would actually be a good idea to do it, because I was at breakfast about a few weeks ago, and you could not. We were having mimosas. It was at the Hilton. Had to wait till 12 o'clock. It was inconvenient. We only had one server for the entire venue that was there. But it was fine. He was nice. He was courteous. But we had to wait till 12 o'clock for the mimosas. So I can see where it would benefit the businesses. But if we're not starting, I'm not going to say if Judy isn't starting her committee meeting on time, that's not on the council. Even Liddell called a meeting at 4:45 p.m. You also have You also have got Judy should have called that meeting at 5 o'clock. Listen, I want to go home too. Matter of fact, I want to go home and have a mimosa. How about that? And Miss Cynthia Morgan Jan, tell Papa I said hello. Effie baby boy, are you putting your name in for president or VP? I don't know. I guess we got to put in, what people think. I have not, I have a lot of things that are going on right now. And when you chairing a meeting, people, it's hard. It's not easy because we got some very distinct personalities. And to stay focused is to stay focused in the business. I want the business to be focused on. I don't have an answer for that right now. I don't know if I even want to chair. Last year, I didn't want to chair nothing, and the charter speaks very specific as to how we elect those offices too. So I want to, and Mickey, any other questions? I'm going to put up this, what's often good news gets lost. And it's funny. I had I was at my mom's house and found when I was going to Pierce, and I was on city council then. I was on city council in elementary school, and I went to Pierce and found my certificate still. So I have cared about how we do things and people, and I guess school, it was the politics of school, governing, and I've always cared, and believe that, when we work together, I believe there's more good than bad. Yes, we have bad things, but I believe there's more good than bad. And one of the bad things is I'm going to go to this one, and Mick, if you can pull it up, it's going to be the last one in the what's the name? The Central Park 5.
I got you. Hold on one second.
And you had, did I send that one to you?
Yeah, I got it. I'm finna get it 1 second.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I got it right here. We got it. Okay.
So they when we talk about the Central Park 5, and they were like, oh, they were wilding, which was a new word. And they said they had raped this woman, and come to turn out years later that they did not. They had been railroaded. And so can you play that video for me? Because I want to leave with something out of some things, some good. And this was a terrible, awful thing. Some things work for the betterment. Is it a video? I think it's a video, isn't it?
I'm looking for, is this it right here?
Is it at the top, and the thing just hadn't
In the day's
shown?
other headlines, major races
Nope.
are being decided as polls start closing on this
This
off
one
year
there.
election day.
I think it's at the top. I think it'll click onto it.
You click on, okay, hold on.
Now maybe.
No.
Okay. So I end up watching the video, but let's leave the title. Okay, we'll leave the title. So it states, exonerated Central Park 5 member Yusuf Salam wins New York City Council seat. Remember, I don't know if everybody remember, Donald Trump took out the page, called them wild animals, and the 5 Black young men who went to prison because they said they raped a woman, and they didn't, and they were exonerated. Then when they were exonerated a couple of years ago, they were called the exonerated Central Park 5. So one of the members, Yusuf Salam, I hope I'm saying his name right. Am I saying it right, Mick?
Yes, Yusuf Salam.
Yusuf Salam wins New York City Council seat. And I think that is so wonderful because he did not give up. A city that had imprisoned him, he is now going to be sitting on the seat of New York's Flint City Council. So when we talk about how some things can turn around, took something that was horrible as a child, as a young man he experienced, to now he will be able to be a voice for those who have went through something. He went to prison for something he did not do. His picture was placed all over everything. Everybody knew who the New York 5 was. They become animals, everything. Donald Trump took out full-page ads against him. He will now be sitting on the New York City Council. And I look forward, and I'm glad that he feels, when you run for office, you will face criticism. Your votes may not be popular. People will take what you say and misconstrue it. But when this man, he was a young man arrested and said, you know what, I'm not giving up. And he ran for council and won. Now, what they say, but God. I'm so glad to see that he's doing this. And I seen the video. In the video, when you see he is crying, because sometimes when you think you are so downtrodden, you can never make it out of what you are going through. And he went through something I don't want to see anybody go through. I don't definitely want to go through it. But he was charged for a rape that he did not do. He had the police telling him that he did it. They made up lies on him. Witnesses made up lies. And what came back to save them, I believe, was the DNA years later. But they were incarcerated falsely, and they sued. They won a lot of money for those lawsuits. I don't even remember the amounts, but some people were mad. Yeah, they should be paid. They were done dirty. There was some dirty police and dirty prosecutors, just dirty. So they should have won. So I want to say a big shout. I don't even know him, but Yusuf Salam, I am so happy to see somebody saying, you know what, I'm gonna take the bricks that they threw at me, and I'm gonna build it up, and I'm gonna be on council. So Mickey, I don't know if it's anything going on you want to close out, but y'all click like, share, and subscribe. And we got this meeting coming up Monday. Listen, y'all in the Metro Development and Habitat for Humanity, G-Card, y'all need to call yourself. And before we do this, I'm gonna read out Bethany's, and then I'm gonna close for real, y'all. Bethany Hazard, who was in my ward, she sent her, she went down there to Metro. And when she went down to Metro, they weren't giving for senior citizens. They were telling them they had to do it online. Seniors don't do online. They just don't. And so she was told she had to go online. She couldn't get an application. And so she was really frustrated. And so then they told her that it was too late to get it. So she was told a couple things. I'm going to read what she had posted on her page. And Mickey, it's the post which says Bethany Hazard.
It's in the what's her name?
Yep, it's in the what's her name.
I got you. Hold on 1 second.
And so she was trying to get home repairs. She's a senior. She's fighting to get help. She got down there and they told her she needed to apply online. And she said, Tonya, I can't do that. So
I got it.
I'm going to see what we can do to, I'm going to work with Bethany, because this system, how they doing this is terrible. It's terrible. And she's a senior. So if seniors are not getting it, they should be the number one people getting it. So she went to Metro Housing to get the forms to fill out to get the house fixed. When I got there, they said they were not taking any more applications. I tried to get there yesterday, but all the roads are blocked off and I had an appointment. I just heard about this 2 days ago. A long time I filled out a form a long time ago. I filled out a form at a meeting. Guess that didn't matter. She's speaking to those 600 or 700 forms, which they stated at this last meeting. They started mailing out postcards. Why are you mailing out postcards and these people ain't got no more applications available? Administration said they mailing out postcards. For what? This money you can't get now. They telling people they ain't not taking applications. There is November 17th meeting. But if Metro is telling people they don't have applications, they're full. They're already full up to 2 or 3 years. That's what the people are saying that they're getting also from Habitat for Humanity. She says, my house is in dire need of repairs. The only people that were in the office getting assistance said they had a working printer. A lot of elderly I do not know have printers and computers. She said, this is an injustice. And it is. So what are we having a meeting for November 17th is what the postcard stated that the meeting is supposed to be. When Metro and them are saying they ain't got no more money and they're not taking applications. So this is going to be a topic of discussion, and we got to start making sure, like with this administration, a lot of times why stuff is not done, they sending it up and it's not complete. You cannot vote on something that the administration didn't do their part. What does complete look like? We're going to talk about what Deacon A.C. Dumas should not be doing the work of the administration. He should not be calling the person that is asking the city for ARPA funds to clarify if it's United Way or if it's this entity. But he was filling the gap. So how are we going to pass something like that? This administration, we asked for a budget deficit elimination plan. We didn't get it. but they want us to pass a trash contract. How can we pass the trash contract if the administration to give us a budget elimination deficit plan? They didn't give it to us. They keep asking us to do stuff without doing their part. If they did their part, we can vet it and go through it. It's not hard. But then they turn around and blame us, and they get a couple of people on that council who say, this council doesn't want to do the work. No, y'all some rubber stampers. Y'all keep rubber stamping. Some of them are rubber stampers. Not all of them, but there's a couple rubber stampers. So, Mickey, I'm going to tell you, I thought I was going to be near my time. And I want to tell everybody, look, thank y'all for giving the time and tuning in today. And if I did not, if you shout out, put in the comments what state you're from, what state or what city you're from, because we appreciate the support. Stuff that is happening here in the city of Flint can happen anywhere. And I think that's really what the attraction to people with the politics. Local politics matter. Y'all better pay attention, because these Republicans, they putting their people in place. They putting Republicans in place at the local levels. They put Republicans in place on the city council, Flint City Council. Make sure we get they getting their share. They're putting their people in place. Memphis, Tennessee. Well, hey, Kwan, Louisiana. Hey, Louis. Put y'all places in. They putting their people in place. Dallas, Texas. Hey, Brianna. Busted Bean Sharks. That's a heck of a name. But Silkstown, Missouri. Well, there was one before then, Mickey.
That was Dallas, Texas.
That was Dallas, Texas. Hey.
Yeah, Dallas, Texas. You got
Paducah, Kentucky. Been following Flint politics. Julie's from Paducah. Okay. James Conn, Flint City Council, Michigan. Queen Councilwoman Burns. Hey, Arizona. Ooh, it's hot in there, Miss Boss. Arizona, you go there. Becky Brown. Yeah, I know Becky Brown, you in Flint. New Jersey. Hey, Keisha. Bishop T. Priest at Compton. I was listening to you yesterday. Joseph Williams. Hey, Miss Brown. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Hey. Long Beach. That's Long Beach, California. Hey, Corey. South side of Chicago. I used to live in Chicago, going back and forth from Flint. South side, South Jersey. Shayna, thank you. They're from all over. I'm loving this. Hey, West Dallas. Hey, I love Dallas. Georgia. I appreciate everybody that's in here. Las Vegas, Nevada. That is where my nephew was actually, that's the one who was killed. We will be bringing him home shortly. They had to, get, that's where, for the ones who sent my family, the condolences, thank you for that. Because he lived in Nevada, actually North Las Vegas. And I want to thank everyone who had reached out to me. Jade Williams, Birmingham, Alabama. Hey, Jade. I think that's where Councilman Mays is at today. I think he's, for the weekend, I think he's in Birmingham, Alabama. I believe he is there. I believe it's Alabama.
You're going to love this next one.
PG County, Maryland.
Prince George County.
Prince George County. Well, I'm gonna stay silent on that, but I will be there in a couple, the holidays, because my sister lives in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, and my sister had lost her mother, and so we're gonna have some sister time. So I will be there. And Memphis. They say he in Memphis. He is in Memphis. That's okay. He's in Memphis, Tennessee. So he wears much warmer than it is probably here. So right. He is there. So I know I had seen, I think his live, it does shown up on, I believe, his TikTok in my feed. So, hey, from wherever y'all from, if you're from Flint, Saginaw, Detroit, Georgia, California, Illinois, New Jersey, North Carolina, listen, what's happening in Flint can happen anywhere. Get involved in local politics. Get involved, talk about it. And if your vote wasn't worth nothing, they wouldn't be trying so hard to take it away. If your vote wasn't worth something, they wouldn't be taking it, be trying to take it away so hard. And they working hard. Voter suppression, gerrymandering. It matters. When you want to sit at the table, you got to go vote. I always took my kids to go. Voting day was a big day. Now they grown. My daughter does absentee ballots. And my son, the oldest one, he will, he likes to go. That's like a thing that we do. Him and my younger son, we all go to the polls together. That's what we do. But I want to tell everybody, thank you for giving me your time on Saturday morning. Click like and share and tune in to Monday's meeting. Y'all don't fall for the garbage truck in the tailpipe. And what Johnny Cochran say, if it don't fit, you must quit. You must quit. Listen, y'all, that contract don't fit. It don't fit our budget. It does not fit our budget. Mick, anything that you want to say?
Not just telling everybody happy you getting better. And this last one, DC is in the business.
DC.
And I know you got something coming up in the very near future, right?
What I got coming up?
No interviews, no nothing.
I ain't
gonna speak on it. I ain't gonna jank it. We're just gonna leave it alone. We'll leave it as a secret.
Oh!
I'll leave it as a secret. I'll leave it as a secret. Just leave it as a secret. We'll leave it as a secret.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a shout out because I will be having. Thank you. I'm still literally playing catch up, y'all. And if anybody like folding clothes, I probably got about 20 baskets of clothes that need to be folded up. But anyways, I'm going to have on, and we got to pick the date. But I'm going to have on my very special guest. Pay attention to these elections, y'all. Dr. Pamela Pugh. She is the president of the Michigan Department, I believe, of Education. She is running for the Senate. Dr. Pamela Pugh. I'm gonna have her on, and I'll have my little flyer out soon. But I'm gonna have it. I'm looking forward to that. I want to hear what it is that she gonna do, because I'm looking at how they putting their people in place. And I want to know where somebody came from. I want to be able to. I might be asking the tough questions. What's her agenda? What's her platform? What is it? First of all, why do you want to do this? That's the question everybody. Number one, why do you want to do this? And if anybody got questions for me to give to her, inbox me, and I'm gonna ask her. Inbox them, so I can get your questions and we can get an answer. And I'm looking forward to having her. And Mickey, I almost forgot, because I'm so behind on stuff. Usually my planner is filled up. I have been moving stuff around, and I'm looking forward to having her because I really want to know. I want to hear her views. I want to hear what her platform is. I want to know what inspires her. What inspires her to this? Because you will get beat up in this political field. You can expect to be dragged. We say it's like a doorknob. Everybody gonna get a turn. Well, what motivates her to do this? Because she's an engineer. She worked for the Flint for our first female mayor and Black mayor, Dr. Karen Weaver. Mayor Dr. Karen Weaver. She was her chief health officer for the city of Flint during the water crisis. So she said some groundbreaking stuff. I mean, she is a trailblazer. She done set a new trail that when we look at what people have done, let's look at and what they say they're going to do. Let's look at what she has done. So I'm really looking forward to having Dr. Pamela Pugh on, and I'm be looking for that to come. And Mickey, I appreciate you for reminding me, because my head, this is the most I've had my voice in 2 weeks, y'all. And I know for those people be out there saying, I ain't talking a lot anyways. Y'all know what? I missed my voice. So
right.
Mickey, anything else? And let me tell you, I appreciate you. Getting stuff out and getting it done. I appreciate you. Me and Mickey got a groove how we get it done. We bringing it to y'all. His idea to have his own news station and having news and getting things out. It's important because we do not know. When we looked at that interview, Flint was not represented. And when they said we're not getting stuff done, that's a lie. Roads are getting paved. DuPont, Welch, Miller Road. We are getting, listen, them bricks. They did them bricks twice because they did them wrong the first time. They did them wrong. And that's been done twice. The feed center, the water treatment plant for the backup. We have passed, for the police, but make sure they got their money, hazard pay. 16 million went for demolitions to get these broken down, torn up homes, and that should have been done, that's falling down. We are getting stuff done. But when they try to put a trash can through the tailpipe, that ain't gonna fit. then we're not gonna get stuff done. They tried to do a 15 minutes to get a whole agenda done on ARPA. Liddell and Eva gave 15 minutes for a meeting to get ARPA done. Shame on them for that, and shame on Mayor Neely for spewing that lie in the community that basically like we didn't have this on our agenda. He shouldn't have lied to the people. He's wrong for that. They got 15 minutes to do that with a special order that they didn't put the Department of Treasury on there. Come on. You know better, do better. We need representation to make sure this council is vetting. Then when your council start rubber stamping and not vetting, that's when y'all need to do something about that. We have a responsibility to make sure we vet those. That's what we do. I'm going to vet them, y'all. I'm going to take my time, vet them, go through them, because that's what we're supposed to. I told everybody I did not trust the 12-person ARPA committee because we don't have any notes or minutes that were not given to the clerk. Those meetings weren't properly posted, and the public was not invited. In our meetings, the public is invited. The public can speak. There's public speaking. We can hear their opinion. Those other ones, we didn't have that. So, Mickey, I'm going to close out. And to each and every one, I want y'all to have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. And look forward to where I'll be having Dr. Pamela Pugh on, and we're going to be in the studio. And I'm looking forward to that. So, Mickey, I want to tell you, thank you. And then, Mickey and Nikki and your better half for sharing your time with me and with the 810 News Media Group audience. Make sure y'all click like and share and subscribe. And then also Cash App, we can do great things, but we need the public to support us. Mickey, did you put the Cash App up?
I sure will. And I need them to tap in, on the Monday bump,
Oh, the bump.
Tap in.
Tell them about the bump.
Yeah, the Monday bump. Tap in with us on Monday. You see what we're doing Monday from Friday from 9 to 11.
So Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 is the Monday bump, where you have Winters Hall and Mickey. And do y'all have guests yet?
Yeah, we have on Mondays and Fridays, Clack do sports. Dr. Thomas Padroni come on Wednesdays, and Trevor handle the national politics on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're trying to incorporate everybody in.
So that's your show rundown. So Monday and Wednesdays you have special guests. Wednesdays you have Dr. Tom Padroni on the bump.
Yes.
What day is sports with Michael Clack, who's the president
Monday
of
and Friday.
School Board. Monday and Fridays, the president of Flint School Board, Michael Clack, does sport. Wednesday, the deeper roots, I'll put that back up.
My bad.
Wednesday, the deeper grassroots effect, 10 a.m. with Dr. Thomas Padroni. Y'all tune in. We're growing this station. If it's something that you want to hear, let us know. Let us know. So if it's something that you want to hear to grow it, but tune into the bump. I like the bump. When y'all do the call in, bump on in, or you've been bumped in. That's
right.
Cute. That's cute. But it take me back to what's that little song? Doing the bump. So come do the bump at 810 9 to 11 and tune in for all of our other shows, because we want to continue to grow this platform to make sure it's a platform that's trusted. Flint politics is everybody's politics. This is just like a small pilot. This stuff can jump off anywhere in the United States. We know that through Flint politics, everybody know what point of information is. Everybody know what point of order is. Everybody know this meeting has been adjourned. Everybody know what Robert's rules are that are governed. Everybody know what council rules are. People now know how a meeting, just by watching, you are learning. You are learning. And listen, I'm still learning. Okay? We all still learning. So put that Cash App back up there. Listen, if you got $5, $2, my last $2. Listen, hey, listen, Cash App, help out 810 News Media Group. If you got $5, $25, $50, you want to be a big spender. Look, we need this to keep this going. We're bringing you information that you need. You see how the other media is doing. You see how they're able to spew stories that are just not true. Just not true. The infighting is not why that agenda wasn't done. Agenda wasn't done because you put a 15-minute meeting on before the 5 o'clock meeting, and the chair of that meeting did not call her meeting to order. That's just the fact. So listen, Cash App 810 News Media Group. They need the funds. The views here are the views of Tonya Burns, and I own them, and they are not the views of the 810 News Media Group. Let me give y'all the disclaimer. These are the views of Tonya Burns, are not the views of the 81 News Media Group, because some of my stuff may be a bit controversial. So,
oh yeah, you'll hear me saying I'll get off the train with you on this one. You hear that? It's real controversy.
Yeah. I try to keep it, a little, diplomatic, but get them the truth. Mick, why ain't that Cash App up there?
It's up there. It's running across the
Why
bottom.
can't I see? You ain't got no big one to put it up.
You don't see me put it up running across the bottom of the screen?
We need listen. The Cash App, you can donate to $810 News Media Group. Is the Cash App. You need a big one to where you even block. And my head big is I don't know what. You need like a big one to put right up there. You need a big one. Because some of us is visually impaired. Okay.
I got you.
I can't read the shampoo bottle like it used to be. I'd be like, I can't even see that no more. Them words.
You ain't the only one.
Listen, when I got into my 40s, I realized that. Into my 50s, and I'll be 55. Listen,
a young 55.
Listen, it ain't the same. Listen, here's some things come with 55. You get some gray hair, get a little weight, but you know what? I'm here. I'm here. That's all that counts. So listen, 810, please donate to Cash App. $810 News Media Group is the Cash App. $810 News Media Group is the Cash App. Please, if it's your last $2, donate to 810 News Media Group. I want everyone to have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy this weekend. Kiss your family. Love them. We're coming up on the holidays. People generally get a little bit sadder around the holidays. We got Thanksgiving come up. Show some love. And if Kermit Lyons has he been on there?
Yeah, I ain't see. I ain't see Kermit. He might be at work.
Okay, because Kermit we're gonna put on there. He was inviting folks over to his house for food and drinks. He lucky I wasn't feeling well. Because listen, I was going.
Right. Now
I was gonna go.
I hope to see him at council Monday.
I do too, because Kermit is shady. He's shady, and I love to see, and he has been riding with Flint Politics and support, and for all those other ones. But for those who you be out there cooking, y'all be putting out there that you're cooking and serving drinks. Listen, I will come over. Okay. Don't play. Don't play. So anyways, Mickey, thank you for being with me this weekend. And again, Cash App, $810 News Media Group. Donate today to $810 News Media Group, and click like, share, and subscribe. Mickey, all right. You enjoy your weekend, and everybody be blessed. And I will see y'all the next time with Dr. Pamela Pugh.
Let's make it happen.
We're going to do the darn thing. We're going to do it.
For sure. I'm finna watch this game too. Go Blue.
All right. Holla at you later. Thanks, y'all.
All right. Peace.